Peptides are powerful and often misunderstood.
But we're here to change that.
I'm Dr. Kylie Burton.
And I'm Jessica Briecke.
This is Pep Talk. Peptides Unpacked. Science made simple, results made real. We're joined today by Dr. Angela Rahm, a licensed naturopathic doctor in Wisconsin with over 15 years of clinical experience. She's known for helping what she lovingly calls hot mess women reclaim their energy, metabolism, and confidence.
She was using peptides long before GLP-1s made headlines, and she built an entire weight loss and wellness program without injections for years.
But what we're discussing today has completely changed the way she practices, and honestly, it's changed the way a lot of practitioners approach patient care.
So let's jump in because this conversation is going to open some eyes.
All right, Dr. Angela, I've known you for several years now, watched your journey through a handful of years, and tell us about your history with peptides and just weight loss in general.
Well, I quickly realized when I started practicing 15 years ago that, as popular as supplements can be when you walk through the grocery store or you go into a health food store, I was one to notice right away that that wasn't going to get me very far. So weight loss became my focus, doing, in-office body treatments and then supplementing as people needed it and creating weight loss plans. So literally for over 15 years, I have been creating weight loss programs without injections for a very long time. And then in 2020, I had a patient come in who had a friend in California who was using these things called peptides. And I was like, well, I understand the structure of peptides, but how are they using them like for weight loss and health? And this was way before we've heard about, GLPs and semaglutide and Ozempic and all of that. So when I started diving into it, I kind of maneuvered through the whole kind of Wild West and found a research peptide company. And talk about the Wild West. That's exactly what it was. It's like they don't give you dosing, they don't give you how to reconstitute. You don't know if it's high quality or off a boat coming from China. You have no idea what you're getting. And so it was a little sketchy. And it was something that I was personally experimenting with, but I didn't feel confident sharing that with patients at all, because it was kind of like not on the up and up. Let's be real. But I'm a guinea pig and I
Right.
like to try things. So, and I was kind of desperate myself. I've struggled with my weight pretty much my whole life. I've been on a diet since I was in fifth grade. So this whole kind of new concept about these peptides really was interesting more so for me, but there wasn't a lot out there to find out. And then to kind of fast forward when all of this big, hoopla came out about Ozempic, I was concerned. It just seemed a little too easy and kind of like there's got to be something not good about this. And so I kind of poo-pooed it for a while and then kind of circled back around and we started bringing it into our practice through our medical director. And in the beginning, it was extremely expensive, like $900 a month expensive for semaglutide. That's was the going rate. And we were actually on the low end of that. And we were getting minimal results for the investment. And we kind of just put it aside and thought, this isn't who we are. It feels not, it feels icky, taking people's money to lose 3 to 5 pounds in a month. But the fact is, we just didn't have enough information. We didn't understand, all of the things that needed to go into really make these compounded versions of these peptides, these GLPs, effective. And once we got that dialed in, about 2 years later, we were really excited to kind of bring this back to our practice.
Yeah.
I I'm sorry, Kylie, go ahead. I was just going to say, as somebody who also has been up and down in my own weight, and I've tried everything out in the market, and as a functional nutritionist myself, I feel every bit of that story. There are still people out there that are playing in the wild, wild west. So the goal here is to hopefully educate people so they understand the differences, how to keep them safe and how to do it well. And I'm so appreciative of you having every experience along the way that you're now able to take that and be an even better practitioner because of that experience. It's
Mhm.
incredible.
Thank you. Yeah.
I saw on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, Angela, where you went off on the myth, busting the myth, really,
Yeah.
of GLP-1s.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest myth, right, we can get started with is the dosage.
Oh, for sure.
And what dosage is safe? What dosage do we recommend with our telemedicine platform that all three of us are a part of? And you've been a part of it for a little bit longer than Jess and I. But just take us down that rabbit hole, that riff, and blow some myths to pieces.
So, first of all, the myth of everything that's negative about these is in the dosing. Quality, yes, can have something to do with it, but truly the dosing is where people need to get concerned. For instance, I have had patients come in, get started, and tell me about their mom or their sister or their best friend who's on, maybe one of the big pharma non-compounded pharmacy versions of this, and they're on the highest dosage and they've been on it for a year. They look like, I hate to say this, but they truly look like a cancer patient. They are
They have
just
the traditional Ozempic face.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
it's kind of scary. And a lot of people have body, image where they might even think that looks good because they're thin, but the fact of the matter is people look at that and they are like, "Oh, I never want that to happen to me." And they think that that is how it all is, no matter what you're on. And it couldn't be further from the truth. And unfortunately, it keeps people working harder rather than smarter as they're trying to figure out how to get through their hot mess phase of life, especially women or even men who, maybe in their younger years, coming out of high school or college, being athletic and, now they're 150 pounds overweight, they're stressed, they don't know what to do. But, and women in, the perimenopause phase or post baby phase, or I don't know what to do phase, I'm doing everything right phase, it keeps them at bay from really truly stepping into something that is significantly so good on so many levels besides just the weight loss. And they're missing it because they are taking it all and thinking it's all like Ozempic. It's all going to give the same, bad results. It's going to give you, the Ozempic face, the Ozempic butt. You're going to lose muscle. Your hair is going to fall out. You're going to have this gastric paresis, which, if you're not careful and you're not doing it right, yeah, absolutely.
Well, if you're on the
Those are
highest
side
dose for
effects.
a year,
A year
of course you're going to have some side effects.
and here's the big thing. Hear me on this. They are getting these things from medical providers who are not talking to them about diet, exercise, sleep, stress. They're not talking to them about anything. They're basically prescribing these things. They go pick them up at the pharmacy and that's it. And
I
they
want it
have
to be a quick
nothing.
fix solution.
They're not using this as a tool. They're using it as a hall pass to do still whatever they want.
All
Oh,
pass. I like that word.
you won't have, you just won't have cravings, you won't be hungry. Well, we want you to be hungry. It's normal to be hungry. We just don't want you to be ravished all the time and, eating
Consumed
candy.
by the thoughts.
Oh, yeah. I mean, some people, they just, the whole like we're coming into the holidays, but we think about, the candy dreams that, we would have as kids. And unfortunately, many adults still have those food dreams and they wake up in the middle of the night and before you know, they're like on autopilot in the pantry and eating something. I mean, it's bad for a lot of people.
Dr.
Jess,
Angela,
I
I
know
think
you
I was
said
going
to
to
me
say I fell in
yesterday
love.
about, sorry, you said to me yesterday about what the people that you have on it as we head into the holiday season when we were recording this, that they're experiencing, what were the words you used?
Are you talking about like food noise? And I talk so much about it.
Food noise,
Well,
like
Yeah,
all
I
the
mean,
things.
they
Control.
control
we've
over the
had
holidays in a period that's
oh,
so out
for
of
sure,
control. Like
for
we are
sure.
in the season of just binging. And sorry to step on your toes a little bit here, but we are from Thanksgiving now till New Year's. We have like this 8-week span of just eating like it's our job, drinking like it's our job. We are consuming like crazy. And so my talk prior to Thanksgiving around my socials has been, how about going into the holidays with control? Stop waiting till January 1st to put yourself on the list. Let's go through this season, putting yourself on the list, taking care of you, having control, go to the parties, have a cocktail if you really want to, have a dessert if you want to, but you're probably only going to want to have a bite or two if you're in control of that rather than just eating
Like the
everything.
last time you're gonna ever get to eat
Yeah,
that.
like you're going to the chair. Right, exactly.
Oh, I like that. Like you're going to the chair. Yeah, so we have had so many people just since Thanksgiving just message us or stop in our office or contact us in one way or another saying this is the first holiday Thanksgiving that I actually felt great coming out of. I'm not inflamed. I actually lost a few pounds. I'm super excited. My clothes fit better. I'm sleepy. Like everything's better. And for if you're listening to this, whatever phase of life you're in at the time that you happen to hear this, I would say there's no better time than now to start because
Today.
it
Yeah.
is going to start the signaling. It's going to start your body being able to function the way it's designed to. And that's something supplements have a hard time doing. They support things, but these peptides, especially the GLPs, the semaglutide, semaglutide, however you want to say it, or tirzepatide, these are the things that actually signal your body to do what it's supposed to do. That's what peptides do. They tell your body what to do, where to do it, how to do it, and just make everything just work like a fine oiled machine. I love that. Yeah,
I'm going to
definitely.
share with you a text that I received yesterday from somebody who started with me microdosing. And my microdosing, we all work with the same telemedicine company. The microdosing that is prescribed to me is even still a little bit on the high side. So I say listen to your body and do what you need.
Absolutely.
And it might be a little bit less than that, but I can't tell them what to do, obviously. So she has started at a half dose
Yeah.
of that. And she went on vacation the week of Thanksgiving, right? So it's Thanksgiving week. And the day before Thanksgiving, you're cooking, you're doing all the things, you're nibbling, you're probably starting to see people, and maybe cocktails have started to flow if that's what you do in your family or whatever. But she traveled for a week, had Thanksgiving, and all the extras of being away. And she came home with her half microdose and she was down 3 pounds
Yep.
because she was in control. She said, "This is the first time ever in my life that I felt like my brain operated like a normal person. Like I wasn't just consumed with not even just the amount of food that I was eating, just always thinking about what I was going to put in my body. When was the next meal? How do I not look like I'm eating for 5 people and be embarrassed by that? Like all of those thoughts that went into this to go into that a vacation and a holiday, Thanksgiving, a food holiday and lose 3 pounds. Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
Just a
It's amazing.
vacation, not even a
Just a
holiday.
vacation. Yeah. Let
And the
alone
reason
Thanksgiving.
and the reason for that isn't, I mean, yes, if they're active and they're walking and they're doing all that and they're truly like taking a vacation or they're out and about and moving a lot. It's not that that's why they lost weight. It's just that the body is signaling for it to burn what's coming in rather than store it as fat. And so we're constantly every day is just another day that's better because we're continuing to kind of control that inflammation, get rid of this inflammation that, has us storing water. I mean, inflammation is extremely, it affects our hormones, our joints, our muscle, and it puts water in our fat cells too. So we want to get rid of all that yuck that makes us feel icky. And with that, does come this weight loss. And I mean, I hear it all the time. It happened to me. I was gone for a week, had no control over my diet. And I thought, on Monday, I usually only weigh myself like once every 10 days, if even. And I thought, I just want to know where I'm at because it was the Monday before Thanksgiving. I want to be like, okay, how good do I really kind of need to be to get things dialed back in? I hit 133 pounds. I'm 60 years old. I cannot tell you the last time I weighed 133 pounds. It was in my 20s, though. I know that. So It's just because we've got things dialed in and we've got the body signaling appropriately for it to do what it needs to do when it's coming to controlling fat storage and fat release.
I want to say
Perfect
to the listener,
segue to go into your story. Just before we do that, what were you
I was
thinking?
just going to say, as you're saying all of that, those there are people that are going to be listening that are just listening and they're not watching us on YouTube and seeing the screen. But I just want to tell those that are listening, I'm looking at you at 60 years old on screen at 133 pounds, looking absolutely radiant and young and stunning. And I never would have guessed 60 was the number one. And number two, back to what you said about that weight loss and how your face looks. And I don't know what your journey was or what you lost or any of what those details are. Um, but you don't have that hollowed out look. You look healthy and vibrant and gorgeous and stunning, and you do not look 60.
Well, I appreciate that.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So, Angela, tell us about that journey that you've experienced on peptides.
Yeah. So, like I said, in 2020, I was, there's nothing worse than having weight loss and wellness clinics and either feeling like crap and not healthy or looking like crap and being overweight. And so you have got, if you're going to be somewhat successful in this industry, the last thing you want to do is be 25, 30 pounds overweight and trying to tell people how it's kind of like I want to go to a good hairdresser who knows I want her to have good
Do
hair.
hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. So that's usually what I say because it's true. And the fact of the matter is it was a constant struggle. I've done keto, I've done paleo, I've done, OMAD diet, I've done, total carnivore, I've done vegetarian. I have done it all. And since literally I was in fifth grade, which I did my first diet, I have been on a constant diet. So I have destroyed my metabolism. And so the fact that, yes, I
Wait
can
a
bump
second. Can you repeat that? You've
that
been
I've
on a diet since fifth grade, and those diets, the cumulative effect are
your
destroyed
metabolism
metabolism.
sucks. Yo-yo dieting. I used to be a party girl. I know, hard to believe. I was like Thursday to naughty Sundays. My friends used to call me the naughty naturopath, naughty naturopath, because it was like, you're this person, but yet you're still this person. And I totally have reined it in now, yes, after 15 years. But going, from fifth grade at 122 pounds when all my friends are under 100, I mean, I was a woman in fifth grade and I felt fat and I was extremely active. So I've had, I don't want to say complete body image issues, but I did to some degree because when I compared myself to all my friends, I felt like I always had to be on a diet. And, saltines and water for lunch in high school is really, when you're an athlete, was really not the best thing for me to do. I'm surprised I don't have some autoimmune issues and stuff. I've had a very healthy life. But to kind of dial things back a little bit, I realized I really needed to find something that was consistent. And I thought keto would be it. Then I thought, well, paleo. You know what? Here's the deal. I will never be on another diet again. I don't eat bad anyway, but I use these, especially GLPs, because that's mainly what we're, excited about, because there's other peptides too to get excited about. But let's be real. Women would drink gasoline if they could lose weight. Let's be real. And so when it comes to conversation, you have to talk about this because even if every woman has 5 pounds they want to lose, let's truly be real. And so for me, it was more about I already eat healthy. I work out. I mean, I'm not a gym rat by no means, but I'm active. I do and still could not lose weight. Still 20 or 25 pounds heavier than truly I felt like I was over 150. And that was in February. And I even have a picture of me, Kylie, you probably saw the one on that I had on Facebook, where I'm standing in the Nile in Egypt. There was no way I was going to put a swimsuit on. And I had already lost like 7 pounds for that trip going into it. And then it was just like month after month after month. My body just shrunk. And I lost a total from, I'll say March to November, I've lost over 15 pounds, but it truly looks like I lost more. I actually gained muscle. We test muscle. So I had gained muscle, lost fat, and I don't have saggy skin anywhere. I actually have muscle that you can see. And I look healthier than I have looked in decades, honestly. My skin, everything.
I relate to every single piece of what you've said. Every bit of it. As a person who deals with people that come to you for help, especially around weight loss, and you are not representing in the best way you want to, it's embarrassing. There's definitely this feeling of professional failure that comes along with that. Like, how can I teach other people if I can't get it right myself? How are they going to follow me? Now, obviously, I can certainly teach an awful lot of things and put people in a better situation than where they currently are. But I wasn't where I needed to be. So my journey has been pretty much identical. I went to Italy this earlier this year and I look at back at those pictures and I was feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
I had lost a little bit, I had lost some weight previously under a lot of stress and had put on a lot of weight. And then peptides came into my world.
I know. Smarter than
Just
our.
this tiny little bit. And same thing. I am down 18 pounds since
Nice.
July. My muscle, I have gained muscle. I had some headshots done the other day in a short dress, and the photographer kept going, "Look at the muscles in your
Woo-hoo.
legs," and here I am.
Look, look.
She's like 30 years old, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm 54, and she is like complimenting on my legs, and I just got the pictures back, and I she took some pictures of my legs, and I went,
Mm.
"Damn." My legs do look good, but I feel it. I want to scream from the rooftops to people that if
I
any myth we bust at all, it is that used as a tool and done right and put together in a package with lifestyle, you
yes.
are not going to lose muscle. But if you don't do that and you expect to still eat like the toddler you were that got you into trouble,
For the
then
teenager.
you are going to lose muscle. So
Exactly, exactly. And I think that's the biggest thing people need to understand. And I kind of, can talk about like some tips, but is you have to get some things in check to really reap the benefits of this for that long term, because longevity isn't just about being skinny. There's a lot of skinny, sick people out there. So
skinny fat.
that for sure.
I say skinny fat. There's a lot
Yeah.
of skinny fat people walking around.
Absolutely, for sure.
I
So
have a
what do you
funny,
think would be your number one? What's your number one when you're working with people? Setting the dose aside, because let's be very clear, I think the poisons in the dose, I think that's something that Dr. Tina Moore says all the time, right? The dose, the poisons in the dose or the doses in the poison, whichever way she words that. But the point is dosing matters.
Yeah, poison is in the dose, and that is something that our telehealth platform is very aware of and is very cognizant of. And so that's one reason to work with, and I mean, I don't know of any other telehealth platforms like this. So I'll just say that's why you want to work with this telehealth platform, because dosing quality is super important, but dosing, even with really high quality, dosing really is something that could make or break what you're doing. So that's a big thing. As far as like after dosing, I think everyone, it's really key to understand that peptides, they kind of amplify your input. So if you're eating like crap and you're eating, you're not hungry because your dosing's too high and you've shut down all those hunger messaging signals, and you all of a sudden are like, well, I'm only going to eat one meal a day. I think I'll have pizza and ice cream for dinner. That is not going to serve you at all. And a matter of fact, that's when you're going to lose the muscle. That's when you're not going to sleep well. That's when you're going to have skin issues. That's where people are going to be like, "Are you okay? Like, I'm worried about you." Like nobody wants to hear that from somebody when, because I hear that. Like people come in and they'll tell me it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, I saw my mom or my friend," and it's like they look sick and I'm worried about them. And it's always
Yeah, they're
been
malnourished.
they're malnourished, they're on a super high dose, and they hadn't learned anything. That's why this has to be used as a tool, because if you use it correctly as a tool, it will amplify the good habits. And if you're, so it's perfect for people, this is perfect for really anybody, but it's perfect for people who are doing everything right and getting zero results. I used to say the harder I tried, the worse I got, for whatever reason. Maybe it was just the mental, that I was so disappointed and so frustrated that I was going to the gym 4 times a week. I was measuring every macro I put in my mouth. I was depriving myself of everything. And then I step on the scale or put a pair of pants on, it's like, seriously, I'm just a bigger version. I might be stronger, but I'm a bigger version of what I was 2 weeks ago, And
Mhm.
nobody wants that.
Heartbreaking.
They don't.
Right.
So we have to use this as a tool, and it's great for those of us who have already really good habits. It just turns on the signaling to say, all right, here we go. We're ready. Let's get rid of some fat. It's also really good for the people who have terrible habits, who have no clue where to start or what to do. It is surprising to me, and when I say this, hear my heart. It is not to say, "Oh my God." It is really, truly to say, I feel bad that you never were taught what healthy eating looks like, because there are people who don't even know what protein is. I kid you not. And
Right.
so they don't really understand. They think we have quick trips here, like a gas station, and they will shop, because really it is small grocery stores inside these gas stations. And they go there, and that's where they're buying their eggs and their food and their processed frozen meals and all of that. And they think they're making a healthier choice than, eating pizza and pasta all the time. So it is a tool for either the one who is completely on track but not getting results, and for the obese person, or the person who's maybe not obese, but they just don't feel good. They've got their hormones are a mess. Like, they've always been skinny. They've never had to worry about it, no matter what they've ever done. And now, because of the way, sometimes being skinny all your life isn't a blessing later in life, because you can kind of walk
Right.
through life going, I can eat anything. And it's almost like a badge of honor to be like,
And you do.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I have friends like that. And now they're at this point, they're in their, late 40s and 50s, and they're like, oh my God, Angie, I don't know what to do. Like, I've never had to worry about this before. I don't even know where to start. It's also good for that person. So, you just please use, no matter what you do, where you go, how you do it, just make sure you're using it as a tool, so that, and get things like sleep in check, eat enough protein. That is so important. Hydration. I don't care if you're putting sea salt and cream of tartar that's high in potassium in your water, or drinking pickle juice. I don't care how you're getting your electrolyte drinks or whatever. Get
Get
hydrated.
them in.
This water, you need the electrolytes. You need to make sure you're doing resistance training. That is really, really important. And we have to remember that peptides don't override this chaos that's going in the body, but they help our body respond better when really the basics are in place, or as you're starting to bring in some of those basic healthy lifestyle habits. You're going to see, like, in weeks, you will be like, ah, wow, in weeks. I've worked for months and not felt this good. And you're just starting your journey. So you can only imagine how good it can get.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
I want to give you a little story. Kylie, you may have heard me tell this before, that kind of reiterates what you're saying as using this as a tool. So I have somebody that has come to me. She is probably at this point still about 100 pounds overweight.
Mm.
When she began her weight loss journey, she was about 200 pounds overweight before her doctor started her on Ozempic, did something really wonderful, which was lose some weight on your own first, and then I will, which we have talked with Dr. Jared, and that's what he does with his patients as well. So she did. She lost 20 pounds on her own. And then they said, okay, you're ready. I mean, I was impressed, because
Yeah.
most doctors are
Yeah.
not doing that.
No, no, no.
Then she went on her semaglutide, standard dosing, and she has upped her dose up and up and up and up. And she had lost about 60 pounds doing this. She had come into my office for, I'm also a massage therapist. So she had come into my office for a body treatment. And she was telling me that she'd been plateaued for about 2 months, no further weight loss. She was on 7.5 of her sema, and she's only got one step left to go. She's plateaued at 7.5. She's only got one step left to go with that much weight left to lose.
Mm.
So, of course, what do? Well, let's talk about your foundations. What are you doing? Are you using this as a tool? It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The only thing she had eaten, which was just before she came to my office, was a handful of pretzels.
Oh my goodness.
What did she have the day before? She had a handful of pretzels in the middle of the day, and she grabbed pizza for dinner the night before. What did she have the day before that? A handful of pretzels middle of the day, and she went and she got Chinese takeout for dinner the night
Oh,
before.
that hurts my
She's a
heart.
single woman who lives on her own. So
Yeah.
I understand that cooking, when you're cooking for one, can be a challenge. However, this beautiful tool that
Mm.
could help her change her life and get these foundations under control, change the lifestyle that set her up for the chaos that she is in.
Yep.
She hasn't been utilizing it. She hasn't been led. She hasn't been taught. She was not working with me on her peptide therapy journey.
Jess is like,
But
I
this
would
is
have
just,
corrected this a while ago.
oh, believe me, believe me, you know, like you can't tell me that and then it goes unanswered. You're not coming to me for that. But guess what? Your massage you were going to take a nap on, that's not happening. Now we're going to spend the next hour talking about how we're going to fix this.
Right.
Because what people don't also understand, and I think you would agree with this, is that this is an example. She's only got one, she can only step up one more time in this dosing of peptides. And she's missing the opportunity now to help her change her life. So it's not working currently because it's shut everything down. And she's going to come out of it on the back end, unfortunately, worse than when she went in.
Yeah.
And now she doesn't have this tool to help her change that. So now she's got to work extra hard
Yeah.
to change. She hasn't.
And I mean, there's definitely some things, you know, she makes some habits, but I would also change the peptide she's using.
Yeah, we talked about all of those things, right? But
Right.
but it's a common story. So these
Oh, yeah.
doctors that are out there that are prescribing, they can be life-changing. Kylie and I had an interview with a good friend of mine who it saved his life, quite literally saved his life for outside of weight loss, so many other things. But most of the doctors are getting their education from the pharma reps
Yeah.
that want to make the sales. And nobody is taking the time to understand how they need to educate the patient to use them as a tool on top of the dose being too high. So they're just kind of being like, here you go. Here's your magic answer to go change your life.
It's a standard of care to dose up, up, and up.
Yeah.
Done.
It's easy. Give them a script and send them out the door. Next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
And the
as I'm
pharmacist,
listening to you two, I want to just summarize this peptide success kit. Number one, you need to be hydrated and not just drink water, but drink make sure there's a healthy balance between the water and the electrolytes.
Yep.
2, protein every meal.
Yep.
Protein, something
Non-negotiable.
like meat,
Yeah, non-negotiable for sure.
beans. That's protein. And then 3, weight training to build muscle.
Absolutely.
So those are like our top 3 inside the peptide success kit. Here it is: hydration, protein, and exercise in the form of let's build muscle in some way.
And that is standard. I can't imagine there will be anybody who will ever change those 3 top things, at least protein and resistance training. Those are absolute non-negotiables on a weight loss dosing journey.
Right.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
add fiber.
Yeah,
Healthy
if you're
fiber.
not
Make sure you're
eating it.
pooping. Well, that's number 4.
Yep.
Make sure you're pooping, but feeding those little bugs in our gut, they need that fiber to do that. They need it to sweep out the colon to make sure we're pooping. There's so many reasons why we need fiber. But so for me, when I talk in my success kit with my things, I would say everything you just said and just add on fiber is really important because most people are under fibered and there's a million reasons why we need it, but especially when we're on these peptides, they're so important that we're doing it. But don't go out there and start piling in the peptide, the fiber quickly and do it without hydrating.
Yeah, because you have to hydrate or you're going to have rabbit turds.
You are going to be in trouble. You will come back to me and say, you said to eat more fiber. I can't poop.
Whole nother problem.
Yeah, right.
All right, ladies, as we're wrapping up this episode here, the story that Jess was just referring to is Jimmy's. If you haven't listened to Jimmy's episode yet, go back and listen to that. We highly recommend you listen to this limited series podcast in order. So follow the numbers of the episodes and go through it if you haven't. But one last piece as we talk about the business side, as we flip over to it, and we just have talked about utilizing peptides as a tool to help you achieve your weight loss goals faster, more efficiently. And as Dr. Angela likes to recommend, smarter, not harder in many ways with your healthcare, but also in business too.
Yes.
Working smarter and not harder. And
Mm-hmm.
Angela, if you could just share a little bit of what you've seen and how you've changed the business side with these peptides.
Well, as health professionals who are licensed, who do have prescribing rights, I go through a medical director. So that's how I am able to do them in office when we choose. But a lot of people who are health professionals, a lot of chiropractors, everything from anyone who cares about people and their health, I consider a health professional because you're doing the research, you're going out there, you're trying to, help people better their lives with something of substance and result driven. And so what I love about this platform, which drew me to it, yes, we came through it kind of as a necessity because of all the FDA regulations around this. And that's one of the biggest reasons we're even transitioning a little bit more even towards it, because let me tell you, ordering through compounding pharmacies on an office level, it's not easy. It's not fun. It's actually very time consuming. When you're doing things in office, you have more obviously liability. You have to be the ones handling all of, the calls, the concerns, the little questions, the things you've gone over with people 100 times, and yet they still want to text you at 10 o'clock at night wondering if can I eat this, or I'm nervous taking my second shot, or whatever it is. You're the one fielding those calls. And it does become a little cumbersome on just that. But you also don't have to worry about the patient doctor side of this. So if you're not licensed, you can't do that. You would be practicing without a license. And so we have to be, even as a licensed naturopath, I still have to be careful of what I say, how I say it, because I can't talk about their medications. I really don't have that ability to help people the way I want to. So by putting people into this telehealth platform, it is a patient portal, patient to doctor conversation that can happen in that patient portal that I don't have to be part of. I am now a support for my patient who I am focusing on doing all the other things, making sure they understand the right kind of diet and making sure they understand what protein is and how to do it. We created a booklet that we give to our patients, and that is kind of our added value to them. And so I think people just have to understand that this can be extremely lucrative, even if it's just a matter of, wanting to share something and having a way to do it, is really big, because otherwise we want to help people, but we can't. And a lot of people aren't going to pay money to go to a practitioner. They're not going to pay hundreds of dollars to go even have a consultation. And this is just a way that you can get education. You can just point people to the telehealth platform, which is amazing to be able to do that. And then, have some compensation for the time that you spend, just supporting people and helping them with the other things like exercise and diet. And you're on your own journey too, and you're also learning through all of this. And it's streamlined. It is super easy, and it has made my life so much easier in our office. So I love it actually. And I think this is the right platform for this time that we are in, because it's really helping the masses wake up to the fact that struggling truly is not a badge of honor and suffering truly is optional right now. And this is a great way for us to be able to share with so many more people to get them off that struggle bus.
It allows us to go from this one-to-one that we all have done
Yeah.
to one to many.
Yeah. Yep.
It's
Mm-hmm.
working
And education.
smarter, not harder.
I want that in every
Amazing.
area of my life. I want to work smarter now. At 60, you kind of go, how hard do I want to work? Not very.
I want to do
At
it from the beach,
36, it's
Dr.
the same
Angela.
question, so I don't know what you're saying.
Well, and I agree. My husband's like, I want to go to Florida for a couple weeks. And I'm like, can we just wait 2 more years? He's like, no. And I'm like, So yeah, I agree.
So
Work
what
anywhere.
it
I
does
will
is
tell you,
it opens up new opportunities for us to do with our lives.
it
Like
really does.
I have let go of all of my client care and I am really excited to enter this new stage of being an affiliate.
Yeah.
One, because I love marketing and I love sales. I could do those all day long and so I've found an avenue that works for me. But I've heard so many, not just health professionals, which I love that word by the way, but just moms in general who are looking to add income streams into
Yep.
their household, whether it be a government shutdown, whether it be a AI is like, we don't know if you're going to have a job in 3 years because of AI, what AI is doing. Like this just gives you some financial stability and it
Mhm.
gives you some financial freedom.
Yeah.
And who doesn't want that?
Agree.
So my last thing I want to touch on before we close this episode is when did you guys feel like you were worth pulling the trigger, putting the money down, and investing in yourself in this peptide? I'll focus on that word worth.
A lot of times for me anyway, I've kind of grown out of it, but for many, many, many years, I felt I had to work harder, that I had to prove that I was smarter than the patient, that I knew every answer to every question. And I felt like if I didn't have that, they would think less of me or that I wasn't worth the money that they were going to pay to invest in their health with me. And I spent a lot of years just all I did was go to, continuing education and take courses and do all the things. And I would say it's really been in the last couple of years where I've just kind of done one of these. You know what? If you're smarter than me, then I don't know why you're calling me. And if you're calling me, then you need to listen to me. And I've had to have that conversation with a few people who want to fight me on what I am recommending. And I've just been like, you called me because you don't know what to do. And I have just taken that high level, that high confidence and said, I'm worth, first of all, getting the value. And I'm also worth my time and my expertise that I am giving to you. And you should listen to me. And I'm very confident and I don't take time for people who are going to fight me on things and argue with me because my time is really valuable and I charge for it. I'm not doing
I
things
think
for free anymore,
your time and your energy, because
for
those
sure.
people suck energy from
Oh,
us.
yeah.
And I realized that over the last, especially the last 12 months in my own business that I let go of, is like they're sucking energy from me. And it
Yeah,
wasn't even the
not worth it.
clients,
Yeah,
it
it's
was the
not worth
people on
it.
the inside. So I just let it go. And moving forward into this, my worth comes up where I have to feel like I'm busy. I have
Yeah.
to feel like I have to be productive all the time. And that's where my worth, and I'm having to like go into this inner healing of like, wait, I could go skiing while my kids are at school, still make money.
Yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful.
It's great.
And it's okay. It's
And it's
okay.
okay. I know. It feels so good. Jess, what about you?
It's probably something I have struggled with my whole life because my mother, who was an incredible professional woman, I probably learned a lot of my habits from her. Um,
As we all do, our parents and those around us.
yeah, and my mom is just really phenomenal, but I watched her also have kind of bad habits around how she treated her body as a result of having to always be so dang busy and she's special, my mom. So for me, it's always been this like, oh my gosh, I constantly went back to school, constantly getting another certification, constantly investing in this, that, and the other. Even this year, when I did invest in a peptide course and I spent thousands of dollars, I'm like, this is the last time, right? And I did it because I needed to support my clients because obviously peptides weren't going anywhere. And I couldn't support them if I didn't understand what I didn't understand. So that was the last time I said I was investing in my education. And along the way, when I was learning, and I realized for me the cognitive benefit of being on these peptides. And mom had a stroke a couple of years ago. Her father had a stroke, and I was like, I will do anything to protect my brain. I will do anything. So in that moment, I didn't care what the price tag was. The class was already worth it. The peptides 100% were worth that protection for me. And I knew that I was worth that investment because if I continued to go down the path and doing all the things, living the healthy lifestyle, doing everything that I do for myself, and yet there's still this gap that I knew was there, and I didn't invest, I would still not be worth to my family what I want to be. I can't be a great mom and a great wife and someday a great grandmother and all of that. So it was this weird kind of like, I don't care anymore. I don't care what anybody says to me. I don't care what the cost is. I don't care. I need to protect myself. I'm worth it. And so I jumped in, and it has changed my life physically, mentally, emotionally. And I want everybody to understand too. So also then I want to say, then I went public with my peptide journey because there was this level of embarrassment too, that if I do this for a living, why do I need to use this? And once I made that first like announcement publicly that I was using this microdose peptide, the relief that came with that, this freedom that came with that of me saying, I don't care. Here it
Right.
is. I can help you. This has helped me. I realized that my path of self-worth, doing these things for myself and being free to talk about it and releasing the embarrassment and the shame, because we haven't talked about that, the shame that comes with all of this stuff, was doing that for other people too. So in discovering my worth and my value and saying yes to all of these things for myself, I'm unlocking that for other people because I'm free now to just not give a shit about
Right.
anybody else, what they think. And if you know more than me, well, hats off to you. Because there's a lot of people that are 10 times smarter than me and more.
Yeah. In some things, maybe.
But I also know that I'm 10 times smarter and better than a lot of people that need my help, So my people will come to me and I'm okay with that. But it took a long time. I've been in wellness for over 3 decades. It's taken a long time to come to this place of, I don't care.
Can I
I'm
say,
happy.
because this is a big thing that we haven't talked about, and you mentioned it, is the shame. And it's not even just the shame, because there is that kind of stigma that goes with it. But it's also, I don't want anyone to know I'm doing anything
Mm,
because, I want them to
secret.
know that I'm doing everything, the hard
Well,
way.
naturally.
Naturally. And that's why I post the way I post on Facebook too. And if I'm not going to ask friends and patients, and what, patients become friends, but I don't ask them to do anything I would not do. And I'm out there, and sometimes my husband just goes like, just please don't post your
Same.
he's like, please
No,
just
don't.
don't post your bowel movements.
I was just gonna say, please don't put your coffee enema on social media.
But yeah, I mean, let go of the shame. That's a big thing, because
Yeah.
people want to see what you're doing. They want to see what you're doing. They don't want to hear what you're doing. They want to see what you're doing. And that's where we can really help people, is by showing them. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's so fun when you get a message from somebody that you haven't had a conversation with or talked to in 20 years, and they're like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Like, you look amazing. And I'm like, well, thank you. And you can too.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, let the shame, no shame. There is no shame. If you're worried about shame, you're going to have a long, just difficult life.
It's
Yeah,
true.
it's amazing to me how many women have come to me and they said, "Well, don't tell my husband,"
Right.
or "I
Oh,
don't want my family to know."
Yeah.
Why? First of all, we touched on this again. I listen, we could talk forever, and I know we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
to wrap it up. We are not putting something synthetic into our body. I want to make sure. I don't know if we've ever talked about this or not, but peptides are bioidentical. They are molecule to molecule, the same thing that we naturally make in our body. That for a long list, a whole nother episode, reason of, that we are not that we're deficient in them. But it is not like a synthetic drug that we are taking to force an action in the body. We are taking a bioidentical tool that is has the built-in receptors in our body to do what it's meant to naturally do. So this is not us doing something unnatural and this badge of honor that we have to do it naturally, or this is lazy, or this is the easy way out. First of all, it's not easy because you still have to do the work, you still have to do the lifestyle changes, but it's also not fake. It's
Yeah,
the
I
same thing your body makes.
I think it's really important because of your audience too, is you can compare like big pharma to compounding pharmacies, like we would talk about thyroid hormone replacement, right? So big pharma is levo and synthroid. It's only T4, which is an active. So you could be actually overdosing on thyroid hormone. And then you have the compounding version, which is designed to mimic your body 100%. And that's things going to be like your Armour thyroid or your MP thyroid. And, it amazes me that the majority of medical doctors will not even have that conversation with their patients because the gold standard is big pharma, and this one-sided approach to thyroid where you come to a compounder or a doctor that uses compounding versions and it's like it lights everything up because now it's actually mimicking how your thyroid is supposed to work, especially if you don't have a thyroid or you have autoimmune. Like you want those things that mimic what your body's supposed to do, not either suppress or like, jack it up. We want the things that really just help our body work the way it's designed to work. And compounding versions of these are the best approach in my mind.
Yeah, I think of this as
Yeah.
HRT, hormone replacement therapy. I would
Bioidentical.
imagine that when HRT came on to the scene, it got the same response
Yep.
as peptide
Still
therapy is
is.
getting.
Just
It
recently
still
But
is.
turning
okay,
the
so then
corner.
but now how many people are on HRT?
Yeah.
And it's going to be the same thing with
Well,
peptide therapy. So you might as well start now. You might as well give yourself that 5 year head
Yeah.
start before in 5 years you're going to be wishing that you had started when you listened to this at the beginning, knowing that there's so many people doing it now because of how effective it is.
Absolutely.
So,
live
all right,
longer,
ladies, I wish
better.
we had 90 minutes, but our time is up. So, Angela, thank you for joining us today. Your insight and your realness is
You're
exactly
welcome.
what the wellness world needs right now.
Thank you. It was
If
fun
you
seeing
have
you
felt
again.
seen,
What was that?
if you, no, I was just going to say that if you felt seen, relieved, or finally understood listening to this conversation, then you are not alone. Practitioner burnout's real. Conversations like this are how we want to start to rebuild our path forward.
If today sparked your interest, check out the show notes for links to follow us.
You can find me, Jessica Briecke. You're going to get me on Instagram at Jess B as in boy underscore LMT underscore NC, or my website at b2bwithjess.com, where you can schedule an appointment where you can come in and do a live class and learn all the things on peptides right there.
You can follow me and my other podcast, Unshakable Brain, and get started on your peptide therapy or utilize this in your office or create an additional income. Get started with any of those three options at drkylieburton.com/peptides.
And of course, reach out to the person who invited you to this podcast. They are your best starting point for personal guidance.
Yes, if someone directly sent you here, go back to them to get started. And we'll see you in the next episode. This is Pep Talk, Peptides Unpacked.